Hello everyone, welcome back to our course. Today, we'll talk about Section 2, the translation variation theory. The term translation variation has long been used by translators. In the late 1990s, translation variation theory was first put forward by Professor Huang Zhonglian as a newly emerged systematic theory. This theory is firstly derived from the translation practice of scientific articles, and it also coincides with the development of cultural transfer and the German functionalism. Now, it is still under development and improvement. Professor Huang has done a lot of scientific translation, which allows him to examine translation theories from the perspective of non-literary translation rather than literary translation. He proposed that variation translation emphasizes the faithfulness of translation to the original meaning, and this theory has 4 characteristics. First, translation variation theory thinks highly of the subjects of translation. Second, translation variation is the dissimulation of the complete translation. Third, translation variation is a partial negation of the source text. Fourth, the value of the translated text exists in the author's and the translator's intellectual work. Professor Huang proposed that the term translation variation refers to a translation activity in which the translator employs 7 adaptation techniques: adding, deleting, editing, narrating, condensing, integrating, and altering, to absorb the original contents based on the overt or covert translation requests of target readers in a specific condition. The 7 adaptation techniques utilized in variational translation practice can produce the following 11 variational translation methods: selected translation, edited translation, narrated translation, condensed translation, summarized translation, summarized transcomment, transcomment, altered translation, annotated translation, transwriting, and cited translation. The relationships between these 11 methods are hierarchical and inclusive, and form an organic system. With the development of technology, the amount of information has expanded rapidly, and variation translation has attracted more and more attention. For example, we can enjoy English films and television programs better without dubbing. But without dubbing, the quality of subtitles is extremely important for audience to understand movies and TV shows. The space and time for subtitles are limited, and there are cultural differences for Chinese people. Therefore, when subtitles are translated, variation translation theory can be used to help the audience better understand the storylines. Next, we'll talk about the 7 adaptation techniques with examples of translating subtitles. The first one is adding. Adding refers to adding information to original works. There are 3 ways for adding: explanation, commentary, and writing. Here's the original text. The road is long, and trust me. So whatever you do, you hold on to that foolishly hopeful smile. Here's a translation. 人生路还漫长，相信我，这一路你会历尽艰辛，所以不管你做什么，请留住你脸上那充满希望的傻笑。The addition of 这一路你会历尽艰辛 makes the meaning of the next sentence more clear and makes this sentence more touching. The second is deleting. Deleting refers to deleting information the target readers do not want, including draws or redundancies. In other words, it means that translators can accept or reject parts of the original work in the process of variational translation, and should attempt to balance the supply and demand between the original work and the target readers. Here's the original text. It's just Alec doesn't want to talk about it. He says he can't, you know. The translation is 我只是阿莱克不想提起这事. For this sentence, the translator selects key information to express the speaker's thought concisely, meanwhile keeping the character's tone of hesitation and depression. The third one is editing. Editing enables the content of an original work to be systematic and perfect. It consists of selection from part of the original work, arrangement of the content of original work according to a certain sequence, and translation of the original work into the target language. Here are two examples. Original text, lie to me. Translation is 别对我说谎. Original text, you lie, I will know it. Translation, 不要试图撒谎. The above two sentences are similar in translation approach. In the first example, an assertive sentence is changed into a negative sentence. The second one can be seen as an explanation to the first one's connotation. Okay, the next one is narrating. The definition of narrating is paraphrasing or retelling the content of an original work using the target language. Not concentrating on words, but rather trying to convey the main ideas while ignoring the form of the original work. And here's the original text. Now, I tell him of our new plan, and you don't know what you are talking about. Classic one-sided shrug. Translation, I've absolutely no confidence of what I just said. Translation, 当我告诉他搜索计划有变时，经典的单肩耸动，表示他对所说的话极不自信。In order to improve the coherence of the explanation, the translator converts direct speech to indirect speech and using the third person to paraphrase the last sentence. The word translation is translated into 表示, which connects the former one-sided shrug and the latter explanation for this move. And the fifth technique is condensing. Condensing focuses on using the most concise language to condense the original work in a target language, which enables the amount of information and the length of the text to be far less and smaller than those of the original work. Here's the original text. Why are you disgusted? Why does mentioning Phoebe make you feel that way? And here's a translation. 你为什么有厌恶的情绪？菲比怎么了？ It can be seen that the second question is condensed as a shorter sentence in target subtitle. The original subtitle can be translated directly as 为什么提到菲比会让你有这种感觉 which repeats some information of the former sentence, and a key point is not obvious. The sixth one is integrating. Integrating is an adaptation technique that combines two or more similar or logical parts of the original work. The relevant parts may be a sentence, sentence group, paragraph, section, chapter, or even a book. And the last one is altering. Generally, the above-mentioned adaptation techniques all belong to the category of altering. Putting altering into a single category aims to emphasize its features. Altering means change. Here is the original text. No, 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 no. Don't turn this around. The translation is 绝对不是这样的，你是在颠倒是非。This translation adopts the method of altering without directly translating the 6 no's, which is more natural and reflects the tone of speech. As translation variation practice testifies, variation is a process that a translator and a source text interrelates and interacts. according to translation variation theory, to meet the target reader's special needs is the objective of translation, and it is a theory that couldn't be neglected. In Section 3, we will discuss eco-translatology. That's all for today's class. Thank you, and see you next time.